Nancy Piwowar.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Piwowar.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, sorry.
Good evening, Nancy.
Good
Hi.
evening. Nancy Pivar, 1129 Myrtle Avenue, Plainfield. I appreciate the opportunity to speak in public session. My focus will be on Greenbrook Park because I've lived near this park for over 65 years. I have appeared before the county commissioners through the years advocating and expressing various concerns pertaining to Greenbrook Park, such as upkeep, maintenance, trash, and historical significance. Any of my comments are not to reflect badly on the maintenance people that work there because I think they do the best job under the conditions that they are given. They're wonderful and they're always kind and respectful when I stop to talk to them. I don't know the status of the master plan for the parks. I did submit something back in March. And I also do not know the status of the negotiations with Somerset County over the lease of approximately 15 acres of land that the county and union has had for 99 years. I'm very concerned about the status of the lease because Union County has been a steward of that portion of the park for almost a century. Some people may say that the county has done nothing, but in my humble opinion, leaving it the way it has been for over 100 years was and is the best way to take care of that portion of the land. I say that because it is a sacred land where indigenous people are buried. There were studies done back in the 1920s and 30s, and that portion has never been disturbed. I am very concerned that if the lease is not continued, that it could lead to development of land that needs to remain urban wilderness. Birds, animals migrate there just like the Native Americans did centuries ago. There is a spirit in the land, and that is why the hawks, eagles, and other species of bird build nests in the area. There's a great group of people that go down there and watch the migrating birds all the time. The separation of that 15-acre portion from the main portion could jeopardize the National Register status of the Greenbrook Park and possibly jeopardize future funding opportunities. I drive through the park numerous times. Greenbrook Park is the most historic of all the county parks in Union County. It is hallowed ground. In light of the 250th anniversary of the Revolutionary War, Greenbrook Park needs major restoration and preservation. Greenbrook Park could be the shining star for the county during the 250th anniversary coming up in 2026. Greenbrook Park was the site of the Blue Hills Militia Post and encampment and was used during the Battle of Short Hills and other military maneuvers throughout the American Revolution. In September 1782, it probably served as a campsite for Legion's Legion, the French Legion, as part of Washington Rochambeau Trail. This area that encompassed Greenbrook Park was later purchased by the United States government to be used during the French naval wars, and at least 3 regiments were stationed there, and later it became a stop on the Swift Shore stage route between Philadelphia and New York. There's a core group of volunteer historians who are researching the Revolutionary War and quasi-war aspects of this area, and we're looking for the lost fort of the Plainfields. Just this week, we've been able to locate the deeds, and hopefully within the next month or so, we'll have a better idea exactly where the encampment and fort were. The efforts of these students that I've been working with and the group that I've been working with, we were able to get the National Washington Rochambeau Revolutionary Route Association to change the location of Luzerne Legion's campsite to Plainfield. Originally, it was listed as Scotch Plains because Scotch Plains was the mailbox stop during the 1800s. Recently, a newspaper article and a diary were found that noted that there are soldiers buried in the vicinity of Greenbrook Park. The location and burial ground are unknown. The soldiers who died there died from disease and were buried in shallow graves along the roads or in swamps or even in the wells. During the time that this area was used as a militia post, African Americans, freed and enslaved, played a role in supplying the post. The historical figures who visited this area included George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, Abigail Adams, and others. Greenbrook Park, as I mentioned before, was a winter site for the indigenous people who came inland during bad weather prior to the colonial times. And there is a Native American burial site within the boundaries of Greenbrook Park, according to old research documents. In 1954, a Native American skeleton was found on Myrtle Avenue just outside the park boundaries. And I think that's the area where the soldiers' burial ground still is. There are no signs marking this hollow ground. And all of this information is going to be explored by this small group of people. But I'm really concerned about the lease agreement because I would hate to see that it could impact any of the future funding opportunities that the county, the city, or the state could have under the American Battlefield Protection Program. And I really appreciate your time and about this. And I wanted to give you an update. Like I said, we just recently found the original deeds that Thomas Jefferson signed and James Madison signed. And I have a student from NJIT who is currently working on trying to put those deeds on a current day map in order
Great.
to finally find the fort. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Pewar. Can we have, let's see, well, Ron is not here. I know that that lease is coming due. Is there any comment, County Manager or Mike, that we can make about this?
Vice Chair, for the lease, I would probably defer to County Council. Mike can
Oh.
talk on what the time frame is on
Gotcha.
that during the process.
Okay. County Council?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The negotiations between the county and the owner of the land are ongoing. I don't have an up-to-date report, but I certainly can get that out to the commissioners in the next day or two, just to let you know exactly where we are. As far as I know, we have not yet come to an agreement on extending that lease.
Okay.
But we're
Thank you.
certainly trying.
Thank you so much. And yes, thank you for keeping us updated. We'll look forward to that.